Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Royal Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. Tonight we're going to be talking about false advertising in real estate. I'm your host. As you know, real estate profession is regulated in the province of Ontario. Real Estate Council of Ontario is the regulator who regulate the business on behalf of the Ontario government. We have a Real Estate and Business Broker Act of 2002. Effective December 1st, it will be Trust in Real Estate Services Act 2002. Code of Ethics and Regulations put obligation to the registrars to not to fall advertise to attract business. We have regulations and code of ethics, and we are governed by that. But commonly, to attract listing or buyer, you see advertisement which are not consistent with the guideline or does not provide a clarity. I give you an example of that. If I don't sell your property, I will buy it on my agreed price. So when you are listing a property, you're trying to get the maximum value of the property for your client. Your goal is to sell it a high possible price. But when you are saying, I'm going to buy it, you're going to put the price below the market value in order to buy it. It all depends what language is used in the listing agreement. I have always suggested to consumers and also registrants to specify create a Schedule A, put your demand, your expectation, and that you are agreeing with the listing broker agent who's going to come to you and sell your property. Spell it out. Things in the Schedule A of a listing agreement. What you're expected, what is the price, obviously the commission. The other thing is, what happens if the list price that you set in with that clause that I will buy it is on showing on a piece of paper as advertising, but it's not on the listing agreement. It should be in the listing agreement. So if within the time frame the brokerage is not able to sell, you can enforce that agreement to buy that sell that property at the price that you agreed with the listing brokerage. It happens people say things to attract the listing, then they won't be able to sell it and they don't want to honor their commitment. So don't say that to get the listing. So it's very, very important when somebody comes to you that, I'm going to do this for you. You have to have in writing, and you also have to analyze a comparative market analysis he or she is going to present to you, so you really know what the true value of your house is. If value is 1 million and the agent say, I will buy it from you for 800,000, so what good is that offer? If you say that I'm going to sell it for $1 million, then you want him to buy at $1 million. And based on the circumstances now with the interest rate hikes, I was looking at inflation today, it was showing July 3.3. So it's gone up again. So potentially there will be more increases coming in September from Bank of Canada, because instead of going down from 2.8, it gone up to 3.3 in July. So this is why it's important. Also, you see that lots of agents advertise, or we are number one. in the marketplace. You don't know whether they are number one in the brokerage. Is the brokerage number one? Is the team that is dealing with is number one? Or individual is number one? How do you define that? Or you never know, the team has 200 people working in one team, and they collectively their value is up. So when you talk about a person who comes and say, we are number one, you have to ask them question about it. How did you come up with number one? Based on what? In Mississauga, Oakville, Brampton, or other cities. I need someone who has local experience in your city. So these are the questions that you have to ask, because it can be deceiving. I own a brokerage. I can tell my agent, oh, you are number one in the month of July, or right to myself. But it doesn't mean anything to the consumer. Consumer wants to see the output, was really reliable data. Our obligation under the REBA is to disclose how we arrive at that position as a number one. Is a team, we have 2,500 teams, declare it, name of those people. So you can take advantage of all the credit for everybody as a team. So if you're number one, based on what? In Toronto, in this year, 2023, based on transaction on a monthly basis, yearly basis. So it's explained that. It's very, very important. Also, you will see lots of agents asking, oh, we'll list it for, small money. List your property because you buy from me. So sellers are attracted with that offer, but you also make a commitment. What happens if your property doesn't sell and you can't even buy it? So what good is that? Your focus is quality of service. Any real estate professional, believe me, I've been in real estate now over 18 years. We are self-employed. We have to incur cost. There is no way you can expect a person to perform service for nothing. You have to pay a reasonable commission. Commission is between the listing brokerage or the agent or the broker who's negotiating with you. And they can be creative. There is no restriction in terms of how and when and how much they can charge you. There is a flexibility in that. That's a decision between buyer and agent or seller and the agent or the brokerage. But again, is that what are the value that you are getting out of the relationship? It's like a marriage. You are putting your multi-million-dollar house or $1 million house in the hands of a competent professional. If you take away the motivation is what? Our bills are paid when we earn commission. In normal case, I would say as example, it takes about 1 month, 2 months to sell the house now. And then closing will take 2 months. So one transaction may easily go to 4 to 6 months from beginning to the end to close. You're not paid. You have to maintain your car, you have to pay insurance, you have to pay the mortgages, you have to pay food, shelter, everything for your family. So we are incurring cost. How can you justify it? If your mind is, oh my God, you're trying to take away the motivation. It's not that everybody do that, but in a human factor, it affects someone's motivation. Remember, we have a law now, it was there, and Rico has provided clarity. Lots of people, because it's showing a 2% or 2.5% commission, they don't show the property. And there is a very strict law obligation. Regardless of commission, if the buyer, a property meets the buyer's requirement, we must show. Commission is dealt with the BRA, buyer representation agreement, or seller representation agreement. Those are defined. So you can ask the buyer to pay for the difference if the commission is less, what agreed in the buyer representation agreement. But you can't show you must show the property that meets the needs and the criteria for the buyer. And this is very important. Now, you can see lots of flyers, properties sold, and very commonly, some properties are in the open for a long time. So idea is that a property has sold maybe several times and the original agent is still showing the property. It is my suggestion to all registrars listening, moment the property is sold and closed, particularly closed, you go and tell your virtual tour provider to remove all the videos, all the information about your property, because you don't want that information to remain in there, even though you may have a consent, except that if you have a consent to advertise. When the property switches hand from one name to other and another, and you're still advertising 10 years old property is sold 3 times, make no sense. So idea is to take them. So what I do is when I sold the property and it's closed, immediately I tell virtual to remove from YouTube, remove from anywhere, because he or she is working for me to promote sale of the property. So it's a suggestion that we should not advertise something without the consent of the buyer and seller. There's a special guideline for Real Estate Council of Ontario for the advertised property, especially sold properties. During the term of when the property is sold, you need to look at the very detailed instructions. When do you need that? When the property is sold, you need to have consent of the buyer and seller to advertise sold property. So again, if somebody is offering you incentive to give you kickback, closing cost, or any commitment in terms of compensation for dealing with it, you will see them social media advertisement. Make sure that it is in writing. Put in Schedule A of the buyer representation agreement. On the seller side, we normally give discount in Schedule A. We tell them, okay, our normal charges are so much for the seller, so much for the cooperating broker, and this is the total commission. And because if I am able to sell your property directly, I'll reduce your commission to the certain point. And remember, there is a disclosure requirement when you have multiple offers, or you have an offer coming from outside and you have your own offer. You have to disclose that to the cooperating broker. So once you have the commitment, the consumer, they can go to RICO and complain that they promised me something and never delivered, because consumers are not familiar with the law. Real Estate Business Broker Act of 2002, Code of Ethics, Ontario Regulation 580/5, and soon to be TRESA on December 1st, 2023. And the obligation is on you as a registrant. You refresh your continuing education every 2 years. And this is very important not to misguide or mislead or misrepresent. Similarly, when you have offers, you're trying to negotiate a deal. So if you're telling the seller that, please give me the listing, I have done this, 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 put it in writing as a part of your presentation, CMA, and put a letter. Attach lots of time. I have a 5-star Google rating. So I go to Google, take out information, I share with my potential seller. Hey, I have a Google 5-star rating. Go check it out. So it's authentic information. Source of information has to be authentic. And when you advertise, oh, I am this, I'm this. For example, if you don't have a designation, I'm a fellow Real Estate Institute of Canada, it's called FRI. I'm a member of Real Estate Institute of Canada. I pay every year my membership. If I don't pay my membership, I will lose the credential. I'm a CIPS, Certified International Property Specialist. I am a member of NAR. If I don't pay membership, they can write to RICO and say, this guy is using our designation, but he's not a member. And they can go after me for not being honest or professional. So this is why it's very, very important. When you claim, I also see condo king, neighborhood king, blah, blah, blah. Those are not the designations. That's a false advertising. If you have done transaction, present them. Only designation is as a registrant, you are a salesperson, broker, or broker record. Or you have a designation obtained from NAR or Real Estate Institute of Canada. For example, FRI, CRES, SRES, SRS, CIPS, ABR, SRS. Those are specialized training courses. You pass exam and you are accredited with this designation, and then you are able to use it. You will see them on my website, social media, everywhere that I use my credential. If you look at my name, you will see that it is a credential is showing the name. And it's very, very important that you don't falsely advertise, is misguide, because they are pretending. For example, I'm a fellow Real Estate Institute of Canada FRI, and they expect me as a consumer, yes, I'm FRI. So I tell them, go to reic.ca and look for my name. You will find me there. And this is how you verify. Similarly, if you are a broker or a salesperson or a brokerage, go to RICO, reco.on.ca, find out if this person is registered or not, broker is registered or not, the brokerage is registered or not. There's lots of time, disciplinary actions are taken, and some agent or brokerage will lose their license. So it's very, very important that you are dealing with a licensed person. So because you are they're going to collect the deposit, and they're vetted by the regulator. And this is very, very important. When somebody brings you a card, even though it may be the right thing to do, but everybody carry a license. Under law, we must have in our possession as a licensed broker or salesperson under the law, showing our license number and also brokerage license number, and also valid date, how long this is good. And without that, you can only go to reco.on.ca and verify the name. Do not do any business with someone that you are not able to verify their license. It's very, very important. So again, consumer are expected to believe what a licensed, registrant, responsible person is telling you. But as a part of due diligence, it's very, very important that you ask questions. And for example, somebody say, okay, I'll give you some money. When you buy and sell with me, I give you discount. So they give you discount on selling. So put it in writing. If they want to give you discount on the buying side, then you say, put it in your Schedule A. And that way, you know exactly. Remember that when any time a compensation is given to a client, a T5 is issued, because that income is now transferred to you who as a client. We cannot give commission or referral fee to anyone unless we are dealing with a licensed person or our client who have signed the BRA with the brokerage. Therefore, you will take your SIN number, and beginning of February or toward end of February, you will get a T5 showing that how much money you do, because the registrant will be showing that compensation. because brokerage has to declare that this is the money they collected from the agent to pay you, because he or she is the one who is dealing with you. So it's very, very important to put everything in writing, and to avoid this false advertisement, because what happened is the consumer rely on that advertisement. Somebody say, I'm a broker, but no, he's a sales agent. He's not a broker. So how would you know that? Only that certificate on phone can confirm that, or you can go to rico.on.ca. And if there is any action, you also want to check any disciplinary action taken by the RICO regulator. And this is where you will check some warning are issued, announcements are made by RICO when they take some disciplinary actions. And this is very, very important, because anybody has a nice card, pay $10 and get a nice card, and knock on the door and say, I am an agent or a broker. And maybe you have never heard of the name of the company, or maybe they took somebody's information and converted it, and you start dealing with that. No, you are not protected. And this is why it's very important. When any offering is made by a real estate professional, not only that you verify to engage that person, satisfy yourself. Also, any false advertisement will infringe or contravene with the Real Estate and Business Broker Act, and a complaint can be filed. And this is violation, and is not healthy. So idea again is, our goal of Realty Coffee Talk is to increase awareness, building consumer confidence in real estate, and also promote good ethic and professional ethical standards. So that means we are following it, we're educating it. So make sure that you are not attracted by some enticement to attract you to sign a listing agreement or buyer representation agreement. Under TRISA, effective December 1st, big change is coming, which is very interesting to our viewers, is that no longer there is a customer service. That means you either are a client of a brokerage or you are self-represented party. That means you will have the ability to represent yourself if you don't want to deal with the brokerage, and you will have that choice. The second biggest change that is coming, there are lots of changes, we have discussed them in one of our last two episodes, is that the seller will have the authority to give consent and written permission to the listing agent to disclose certain condition of the offer. It has to be from the written express consent of the seller. Remember, when we are bidding war, nobody knows what the value is. Only thing you know is the number of bids or the offers. But we never disclose the content. December 1st is changing. And then with the consent of the seller, whatever information is allowed, that will be shared equally to all the cooperating brokers who are participating in a particular date. So we'll continue our conversation, and we're going to take a short break, and we come back and we continue the conversation on false advertising in real estate.
मशरकी तहजीब की खूबसूरत दास्तान, बरसों से चली आ रही रिवायतों का पासबान, खुशबू और जायके का वही कदरदान, करते हैं हर खाने में अपने लज्जत का एहतमाम। हर पकवान है बेमिसाल, हर खुशबू है लाजवाब। कढ़ाई पॉइंट, जायका ऐसा कि दिल जीत ले। आज ही हमारे कढ़ाई पॉइंट तशरीफ लाएं और अपनी खुशियों को हमारे संग मनाएं। कढ़ाई पॉइंट, मेड विद क्वालिटी एंड फ्लेवर्ड विद पैशन।
हसीन लगना तो सभी चाहते हैं, मगर हुस्न का निखार तभी मुमकिन है जब आपका स्टाइलिस्ट हो एक्सपर्ट एंड क्वालिफाइड। ब्यूटी बार एंड ब्राइडल, ऑल एक्सपर्टीज इन वन पॉइंट। हमारे यहाँ थ्रेडिंग, लेटेस्ट फेशियल ट्रीटमेंट, बेस्ट बॉडी वैक्सिंग, मेकओवर जैसा आप चाहें, जबरदस्त ब्राइडल पैकेज, मैनिक्योर, पेडिक्योर, केराटिन ट्रीटमेंट, क्रायो हेयर ट्रीटमेंट और बहुत कुछ जो आपके हुस्न को चार चांद लगा दे। तो देर किस बात की, अभी विजिट कीजिए ब्यूटी बार एंड ब्राइडल। वी आर लोकेटेड एट 5150 डिक्सी रोड, यूनिट 6, Mississauga, award winning Indian beauty salon. For appointments, call now 437-324-2885. Beauty Bar and Bridal, one stop beauty salon.
Get ready, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. The Grand Mehfil presents the biggest Mehfil 2.0, where I will be performing live on 19th of August at the Odd Kitchener. So hurry up to book your tickets now and get the best seats. Get your tickets at kwtickets.ca. I can't wait to see you guys. Aajao, it will be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Can't wait. Much love.
Welcome to City Pro Realty. We are 100% Canadian family-owned real estate brokerage. If you are thinking of buying or selling residential or commercial real estate, think of us. Call us. We are one-stop solution provider for your real estate needs. Our passion is real estate. Your success is our priority. Our commission plans to meet your budget. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. A family serving family. To search for sale properties and free reports, visit www.citypro.net.
मैं नासिर शाह आपका मॉर्गेज ब्रोकर। अगर आपको मॉर्गेज चाहिए, किसी तरह की, होटल लेना है, मोटल लेना है, गैस स्टेशन लेना है या किसी प्लाजे में कोई यूनिट बाई करना है, तो उसके लिए आप हमें कॉल करें। हम दो चीजों की गारंटी करते हैं, आपको बेस्ट टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन और बेस्ट रेट दिलाएंगे। आप कॉल करें 647-741-9000, 647-741-9000।
HK Movers, home, offices, apartments and delivery, big or small, we move it all.
HK Movers.
Local and long distance, we also ship cars, Keller transport and moving services.
For service with a smile, give us a call.
Call Mr. Harminder 416-524-6704.
416-524-6704 पे.
Visit 140 Advance Boulevard, Unit number 10, Brampton.
Long distance moving specialist.
HK Movers. HK Movers.
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, LG, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Royal Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. We're talking about false advertising in real estate. There are lots of issues happens when a listing is done and somehow there is a conflict between the sellers and the listing brokerage. Particularly if you want to terminate listing and there is nothing states in the agreement they will charge you advertising cost. Obviously, when we make a commitment with you as a consumer to sell your property, we are incurring cost. The moment we meet with you, putting the sign, preparing the videos, and all the effort that we have to do to put your property in the market, photography, virtual tours and drone videos and advertising, open houses, printing flyers, marketing on social media, these are all related costs. So I suggest that as a part of our advertising, to include that in the Schedule A of your listing agreement, that we're estimated to incur so much cost, and we hope to sell your property and make money so we can cover this cost. As I mentioned to you before, we are self-employed. We are 99.9% self-employed. There are some commercial brokerage, they hire realtors who are on the payroll. But residential, we're mostly commission-oriented, okay? So that means we are incurring cost. The goal of avoiding false advertising is to disclose, provide clarity to the information that you provide when you are buying and selling a property. And if you don't have an understanding of it, ask question. What will happen if you don't sell my property? Do I have to pay for anything? Or when the agent say, I'm not going to charge you anything, and all of a sudden they ask you to cancel the listing, and they say, no, I'm not going to cancel it. So it all depends what is verbal and what is in writing. As a real estate professional, it's our obligation to be upfront, honest, professional, maintaining our integrity, and show competency, and declare everything, disclose everything. So it's in piece of paper as a part of the agreement, listing agreement or buyer representation agreement. This is very common. Somebody say, oh, I'll give you a free air condition, okay, as a part of my giving back to you. Where did you say that? Because you're talking about the buyer who thinks that if I buy this property, I have to replace the air conditioner. The buyer agent said, no, I'll buy it for you. And buyer take that as a commitment and go ahead and buy the property. And when you got the commission, deal closed, you said, no, I didn't sign any paper. No. When you have, as a professional, told a client that you will provide that, the best option will be to amend your BRA and put in a Schedule A. Revise the Schedule A that you're going to pay for it. But then also, air condition, there are so many types. How many tons? What is the speed? What is the make and model? One costs you $1,500, the other costs you $5,000, depending on the size. So this is very, very important. Clarity, I'm giving you an example of that. So you need to, whatever you need to say to a consumer, you promise something, you disclose that on a signed agreement. Do not false advertise to attract business, because the whole purpose of the regulator and the entire government to regulate our real estate business is consumer protection. So their goal is to help to create a positive image and a market for real estate professional, so consumer have a trust in real estate. And our Realty Coffee Talk goal is to building consumer confidence in real estate, making them awareness of the pitfalls and issues. And they're not specific to anyone, it's general. As a communication, I always ask, seek advice from your lawyer, talk to your appraisal, talk to your home inspector, talk to your realtor, talk to your agent, mortgage agent. And the other thing is, oh, we can get you a mortgage. I remember last year, one consumer called me And she bought a property and she could not get the mortgage. And they sold her their house with the 6 kids. She was not my client, but one of my friend referred to me to guide her. So I help her talk to the agent and extend the time. It was closing next day and they don't have a mortgage. And she could have lost lots of money. So they facilitated that by, I did not get involved, but just to guide her, seek time extension and arrange for the mortgage. So that means she removed the condition of the mortgage at the instruction of the agent who failed to arrange a mortgage. She could have lost her shirt. She ended up staying in a hotel for 2-3 weeks because her deal closed and she still not have a mortgage. So she ended up paying more money to stay in the hotel and pay to the lawyer to give time extension, and finally she closed. And these are the things that you don't take commitment. If you don't have a license and you're not competent, our Section 8 of RIBA or Tariff Regulation 580/5 talk about other competent professional. We should recommend that you get opinion from someone licensed. I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage Inc. license number 13241. So I can talk about the mortgage. I can explain that the impact when you don't get the mortgage properly, what will be the impact on you. But I cannot say I will arrange a mortgage and based on that you remove the condition of the house and then 1 day or 2 days before closing you don't have a mortgage. It takes almost 10 days before the bank make commitment to the lawyer, send the mortgage document. And they will hold on to their money almost closing date. Then they release the money because they are getting an appraisal on your property to make sure the value has not declined. And this is very, very important for all of you to remember. When you do buying and selling, you have to watch everything to the end to make sure everything is falling places, do the reminders, coordinate with your lawyer, you talk to your appraisal, the home inspector, your realtor, mortgage agent, or the bank, or whoever is involved with you. It's very, very important. So do not fall into a trap of false advertisement. Always ask questions. If they tell you, they claim I am this, I am that, ask them to provide you data to verify it. And this is very important that you are confident, you are convinced that the person you have chosen is the right person for you to make a listing agreement and represent you and be arrived at a reasonable price to achieve the goal. You are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz in Canada around the world. If you are a regular viewer of our program, please go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, subscribe, Awaz TV Entertainment, and also go to, if you want to watch other previous programs, go to realtycoffeetalk.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and our program is broadcast every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have any question, feel free to call me directly, 416-451-3489. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Bye for now.